Hi everyone, welcome back to AI Incarnation. Today, we are going to walk you through how to use Zapier email parser step by step. Even though, spoiler alert, it can be quite painful at times, later in the video, I'll introduce you to far more reliable and easier alternative that I personally prefer. So if you're frustrated by constant tweaks, stick around for that tip. Alright, let's jump right in. First of all, sign into your Zapier account and you will see a dashboard like this. Before we start extracting our data, we need to go to parser.zapier.com/mailboxes. Here we need to create a new mailbox where we will receive all the emails and then we will parse that data from that email. For that, we can simply click on create mailbox. So this will give us an email box where we can send all those emails that we want to parse. For example, we want to automate our invoices section. We can forward all those invoices to this particular email ID. We can simply copy this and we'll send out a new email to that particular email ID that we have just copied. So we'll simply paste it here and subject will be AI incarnation invoice demo. Let's say demo. And in the details, we'll simply say hi, invoice number should be 10001 and invoice date should be, let's say, 17th of April 2025 and invoice amount, let's say $899 and we'll simply say regards AI incarnation. So this is the email that we're going to forward to Zapier and we will parse this email through Zapier and we'll create an automation to save all those invoices into a Google Sheet. So we'll simply send this email. Once you send those email, you need to wait for a couple of seconds before Zapier will start processing your email. There you go. So this is the email that we have just sent through our email to Zapier email ID. And here is the functionality where you can change the name also. So it should be a unique word or random combination of letters. So we'll say AI incarnation invoices @robot.zapier.com. So this is the email that we have sent. If you want, you can use the default email that Zapier has generated for you. That is a random email. But yeah, if you wish, you can always change this email to your needs. And this is the email that we have just sent. So to fetch all these details, we need to simply select the data. For example, we want invoice number, we will select that data and we need to say this is invoice number and let's say we want invoice date. We'll simply select that date part and we'll say invoice date and we want the invoice amount. So we'll simply say invoice amount. Save it. So these are the three details that we want to fetch from this email and once all set, we can simply save address and template. There you go. You can see that this is the invoice email that we have set AI incarnation invoices @robot.zapier.com and we have set the rules how we want to select the data. For example, we want invoice number, invoice date, invoice amount. So that's all we have set. Let's go back to our Zap and set the workflow. So very first trigger that we are going to set is the email trigger. So we'll simply click on email parser. We want to parse an email. And here on the right hand side, you can see we have trigger event as well as the account. So in the event, we want to select a new email. Whenever we are getting a new email, it will parse and run this automation. And for the account, you can simply use the Zapier account that you have set up the account with. And once all done, you can simply click on continue. Next is the mailbox. Here you can see the same inbox is there. AI incarnation invoices @robot.zapier.com. So this is the email box that we have just set. This is the custom name that we have given to our inbox. And once all set, simply click on continue. And there you go. So to test this, we can simply click on test trigger so that it will try to connect to that particular email box and get all the records that we are having. And this is the email. We have sent only one email to this particular inbox. So we are having only one email. If we click on this, you can see these are the details of the inbox. Zapier automatically gets you most of the details, for example, the email body, the email CC, email recipient's name, etc. and email sender's name as well. Here's the thing. So we have selected three outputs that we want from this particular email. One is the invoice amount, next is the invoice date, and the last one is invoice number. So these are the three details that we want to fetch. So we can see that these are parsed and we got the output as well. So once we are happy with all the input and the output parsed, we can simply click on continue with selected records. We have tested the data also. So the next step is to store this data. For this demo, I'm storing this data into a Google Sheet, and let me go to the Google Sheet. So this is the Google Sheet for now. I want three details. I'll simply give the headers here. Let's say invoice number, invoice date, and we'll say invoice amount. So these are the details that we want. And if we go back to our Zap, we can simply select on Google Sheets. There you go. So on the right hand side, you can see we are having action event as well as the account. So the action event will be, we want to add one or multiple rows. We can select create multiple spreadsheet rows. And from the account, we can simply select the email account that we have associated Zapier. That means that we are connected to. Next is simply click on continue. And here is the values. For example, we are having the drive where we want to store this data and the spreadsheet name. So Zapier demo is the spreadsheet name, as well as the worksheet is sheet 1. For now, we have only one sheet. Okay, here we go. So we can see that we are having three headers on this invoice sheet. Same we need to fill here. So to fill these details, invoice number, invoice date, and invoice amount, we can simply click on this and search for the field. For example, we have parsed three fields here, that is the invoice amount, invoice date, and invoice number. We will map those correctly here. For the invoice number, I'll select invoice number. Next is invoice date. I'll simply go to this and select the invoice date, and the last one is the invoice amount. So let me search for it. Okay, here you go. So invoice amount. I've successfully mapped all the rows that I want to set, and next is I'll simply click on continue. Okay, so this is the all data that we want to send through the Google Sheets, and it will automatically save all this data for us so that we can maintain all the invoices. Make sure that you are having the same format for all the invoices, then only Zapier will be able to parse all of this data. If you are having any format changes in your data, then you need to redo all the steps. Like you need to change the name of the variables that you want to parse, and then you have to add all those fields here again in the workflow. So that is a pain part, I would say, but yeah. So let's test this step. Okay, we can see that the test was successful, and let's go to the Google Sheets. Okay, here we go. So we are having the invoice number, invoice date, as well as the invoice amount. So these are the details that we have just fetched from the Zapier automation. As you can see, while Zapier does get the job done in ideal scenarios, it has some significant limitations. The tool is heavily dependent on consistent formatting. This can be a headache if your emails vary even slightly or if you need to extract data from attachments. If you're ready for a more robust solution that handles this issue with ease, let's jump to the next segment. That is, I'll show you how Lido not only overcomes these limitations but also adds level of intelligence to the process. Let's switch gears and look at Lido. This tool is designed to be smart right out of the box. One of the first things you will notice is that it automatically identifies which columns or data fields you might want to extract. First, sign into Lido with your work email. Once you log in, you will see a dashboard like this. Simply click on New File, and here simply go to Tools, click on Data Extractor. Here you can see you have multiple tabs: Upload, Google Drive, Email, and Website. So these are the multiple sources where you can extract data from. Simply go to Email, and this is the email ID where we want to forward all the emails to. And we will paste the email ID that we got from Lido. And here we can simply say the subject as Lido data extract from invoices. And in the body, we can simply say hi. Um, let's set some information. Below is the invoice details and invoice number as 10001, invoice date as 17th April 2025, and invoice amount as, let's say, $899, and we'll simply say regards AI incarnation. And we'll simply send this email, and we need to wait for a couple of seconds before we can start processing that email. And there you go. Here you can see you have the columns that are populated automatically by Lido. And if you wish, you can remove or add any columns that you want. For example, we don't need sender or recipient details for now. We'll simply remove them. And if you remove it, it will be automatically removed from the data as well. These columns represent the data fields it thinks are important, which is also reflected in the resulting spreadsheet. You can see invoice number, invoice date, invoice amount. These are the columns. If you want to customize the extracted data, you can easily edit these columns. For example, if you want, you can say invoice number should be invoice NUMBER, not NO. And if you click outside, it will be reflected here. That's how easy it is to edit the column names or modify the parameters that you want. This dynamic setting allows you to tailor the parsing of different emails format without starting from scratch. Here is the feature that I love the most: extra instructions. Think of it as a place where you can instruct the tool as you are talking to your colleague. For example, you can specify that it should look for the invoice amount in a bold header or set the formatting of the output in your spreadsheet. This box even gives you the option to instruct the tool to extract data from an email attachment rather than just relying on the email body. For example, we don't need extract the senders and recipient email address. We can simply remove it, and we can ensure that the invoice date is formatted as day, month, or year format. So this is the extra instructions that you want to give. If you want, you can give any other extra instructions also. So for now, let's keep it simple, and we'll keep this. And once you're happy with the column names and the extra instructions that you have given, you can simply click on process all emails. If you're having multiple emails, it will process all of them for you. And there you go. See how simple it was. Invoice number, invoice date, invoice amount. All the columns are populated with exactly the format as well as the amount that you want. As you can see, Lido's approach is much more resilient. The intelligent auto-population feature minimizes the manual setup, and the additional instructions box ensures that you are in full control over what data is extracted, even from attachments. This makes it ideal for situations where your incoming emails vary in format or include complex attachments. Exporting data to Excel is a breeze, and we can simply go to File, click on Export Values to Excel, and there you go. Your data is extracted in a simple Excel format. Let's recap. We've explored the Zapier email parser, which was useful in straightforward cases but can be brittle, especially when dealing with varying email formats or attachments. Then we took a look at Lido, an intelligent tool that automatically suggests and customizes the data extraction fields and allows for deeper control through extra instructions. Finally, exporting your data to Excel is just a click away in Lido. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and even leave any questions in the comments below. See you in the next video. By the time, happy automating.